Hello there and welcome to The Big Story, where we'll discuss the hottest topics of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Dylan, coming to you live from the Straits Times. Now, we are streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, so be sure to like, share and comment on our video. And while you're at it, if you haven't already done so, do subscribe to our channel and click the bell button so as to be notified whenever we go live. In a few moments, I'll be joined by my newsroom colleagues where we'll discuss the hottest stories that got you talking today. Now, for our first story, 3 months ago, a journalist from the Straits Times received an Instagram message from a man who called himself William Chan. They soon started chatting via WhatsApp. By the third day, he was already calling her his queen. Now, despite law enforcement and education efforts, love scams have been on the rise since 2014. The first half of 2019 has already seen 306 cases. Now, wanting to find out how these con artists work, the Straits Times set out on a mission to uncover this scam, which took place over 3 months. Now, with us to tell us more is senior correspondent Zaihan Yusof. Hi, Zaihan. Hi. Thanks for being here. Now, before we get into the whole process about actually exposing a scammer, tell us a little bit about why love scams are so significant and as compared to other kinds of scams.
Well, unlike the other scams, love scammers, they take the scam on the long haul. It's prolonged manipulation, and of course they know how to play with emotions. And there are certain things that they put in, like sweet nothings, to give you confidence, to trust, that to give the air that you can trust this person, that you're talking to, even though you've not seen that person. Yeah, and it deals with matters of the heart. And in this case, maybe the numbers show us that there are a lot of lonely people out there. They are prone to being conned by these fellas.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the whole three-stage modus operandi of these scammers.
Well, it's very easy. What we notice is that these guys, they would like to put a front that they are friendly.
Okay.
They care about you.
Okay.
They are respectable, maybe even successful in their lives. Yeah. So we can never figure out. Researchers from Malaysia have shown us that these guys like to present themselves as oil and gas engineers. Yeah, particularly that, and they're European, So that's the first stage where they present themselves as good people. And then when they gain their trust, they will whisper sweet nothings, call you early in the morning or text you early in the morning just to check on you and so on. And of course, they would like to take it offline. No more on Instagram, no more on Facebook. Personal, it's all on handphone, or they text you on WhatsApp. And of course, the final part, they go for the kill. They will try to get maximum gain. And this is the part where you are the most vulnerable, where, if you think or you even suspect that this person is a conster, they will make you think otherwise and question your loyalty towards them. So I think that's where some of these victims, they're put in a fix where, if I don't trust him, I will lose him, It's over many months, so you've formed a certain relationship and bond with this person. Yeah.
So I mean, love scams are always, they are talked about a lot, I think. So why do you think people are still actually falling victims to these kind of scams?
I think it's because...
Yeah. Your own personal opinion.
Yeah, I think because victims are too trusting. They do not question a lot. They should be questioning a lot. Why suddenly in 2 days, 3 days, this guy is calling me my queen? I've never met him. What does he look like? Those are the questions that any human being should be asking themselves, because all the interaction is online and so on. I mean, ask to talk to this person on FaceTime. See what he looks like. Does he fit the profile, the name? Those are very simple checks. But in our case, for this scammer that we exposed, he was quite thorough. And for everything that he said, there is an excuse. But our team managed to check and disprove his lies.
Yeah, maybe you could talk a bit about, I see you brought something over here.
This gimmick here, it's actually a party toy. It's called a voice changer. Now, to convince us that he really needed 500,000 RM from our reporter, he says that he is at the office of a Malaysian government office in Sarawak, and that he will allow us to speak to the officer who's handling his case. He needed to pay a tax of 2-point-something million RM. So the problem was this: he spoke too loudly, so what we could hear on the line was two voices, his voice and a Mickey Mouse sort of voice, a cartoon type of voice. So I knew he was using one of these.
I mean, devices like this, they can be found pretty easily, right?
Yeah. Online, you can order anywhere. It's what, $50, $40? Yeah, but the fact that he went through the part that he should, try to convince you that the person you're talking to is a woman, but actually it's the same person, right?
Okay. So what can, I mean, going along these lines, what can people do to ensure that they are not being scammed? And what are some telltale signs, that things are not right, and what should they look out for?
Okay. Well, first of all, do you really think that person is who he is, he's saying? I mean, like, you need to check his profile, okay? If he gives a picture, and in this case, for our case, he's given several pictures. We were able to do a reverse picture search. And we realized that all the pictures that he says that, I'm at my work site as a construction manager or so on, these pictures were taken off the net.
Wow.
So it's easy. It's only that you need to put in some effort to disprove or to just question yourself. That's one way. Another is, talk to him on FaceTime. See whether it matches, his face and what he claims to be. And we also contacted the person that is his name who's being used for this scam, and he says that he's happy that ST ran the story on this because he didn't know. I think he didn't know that his name was being used, and so there are ways to check. There are telltale signs, and if they continue to talk, these scammers continue to talk, I'm confident that you can tell, like, hey, how come the name of the air ticket doesn't match your name? So we questioned him on several of those issues, and there's always a reason that he gave.
I think the scary thing about this is that anybody can fall victim to such a scam. So I think that's why.
Okay, this researcher from Malaysia said that it is sad that you would think that this would happen to falling victim would happen to only uneducated people. It's not true. They have the educated ones, highly educated ones, married, and some of the reasons that they cite is because they are unable to find happiness and they're lonely still. So they're reaching out to people that they don't know. And some are thrill seekers. They want to know, hey, what are the possibilities if I meet someone, a man of my dreams or something like that, So there are lonely hearts out there. But you just have to be careful.
Well, thanks so much for sharing about the topic with us, Zaihan. I think it was certainly very informative for a lot of our audience, and we certainly hope that this initiative actually increases awareness amongst the public about such scams. Of course, if you want to see the full graphic and the full story, you can always head down to our website. It's www.straitstimes.com. Thanks again, Zaihan, once again.
Welcome.
Now, moving on to our second story, 1 in 5 childcare centres are raising its fees for full-day programs next year. This has drawn on happiness from parents interviewed. Now, the Early Childhood Development Agency, or ECDA, said that 330 childcare centres will be increasing their full-day fees for Singapore citizens from next year. Some parents pointed out that the news comes shortly after additional subsidies were announced last month during the National Day rally by Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Now, with us to tell us more is journalist Goh Yen Han. Hi, Yen Han.
Hello.
Hi, Yen Han. Okay, so I think the first thing we should talk about is tell us a bit about what is the average approximate fee increase that we are looking at here.
Right, so ECDA told us that the median fee increase is about 5%. So I've asked some of the childcare centres that are affected. So some of them said they will increase by $20 to $90, and $90 can actually go up to about more than 10% for a partner operator. So I think that is roughly the range, and a lot of parents I spoke to said some of their childcares told them $40 or $50. $40
or $50?
A month, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, the Prime Minister announced during the National Day rally that they're going to be raising the monthly income ceiling for families to qualify for additional subsidies from $7,500 to $12,000. Now, do you think this would help mitigate the fee increase?
Well, I think a lot of parents feel like, it's, going in one pocket and then coming out of the other. So they're not very happy about it. And I'm sure the subsidies do, in a way, cover the fee increases, but it really depends how much subsidy you're getting and how much the fee increase is being. I think the important part is that, it's about balance, because you cannot just say that, the government gives and then now it's taking it back. I mean, this money is going into private childcare operators, and government-funded childcare operators' pockets, not exactly directly to the government. I mean, a lot of people do see it that way, but then, you know, we have to think about where this money is going, whether it's going for profit or for going to better your child's education. Yeah.
Now, how did the childcare centres actually respond to a lot of the unhappiness amongst the public that the fee increase is going to happen on the back of the subsidies announcement?
Yeah, so I think a lot of them would say that they have planned this fee increase before the subsidies were announced.
Okay.
And the reason behind the fee increase is definitely they won't say it's for profit. I mean, a lot of them will say, you know, I mean, this is for fees, salary increases, or to learning materials for the child and that kind of thing. And I think that's true because a lot of operating costs are actually increasing over the years for childcare centres. So for like rental, that's increasing, and staff salaries are definitely increasing as well, especially because early childhood educators were being paid so low as compared to other teachers to begin with. And you want to increase the wages for them to attract more better qualified people into this field.
So of course, with all that being said, you know, looking ahead, what do the childcare expenses and challenges look like for parents?
So what the government has said is that they are going to have more government-supported places,
Okay.
and then they want to lower the fee caps for the existing two schemes, the anchor operator and partner operator schemes. So I think this sounds like a good move, and hopefully, you know, in the future, I mean, even if they do raise it now to hit the fee cap, when the fee cap is lower in the future, there is some kind of relief for the parents.
Okay, so thanks so much, Yen-Han, for sharing more about the news. Of course, to read the full story and to keep up to date with the childcare fee situation, as always, you can always head down to our website, www.straitstimes.com. Thanks again, Yen-Han. Now, those were the top stories of the day. For more news and videos, as always, you can always head down to our website and join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.